Ahoy! So today, before we get the coffee and tea and gather around the kotatsu, I'm actually gonna answer a request that was given to me by people in person. And we're gonna get rid of these weird borders. So, go away, borders! Okay, now the borders are gone. Anyway, gather around the kotatsu and get your coffee or tea or whatever sort of beverage, because we've got some tea to spill. Well, actually, not really. But I do have something I discovered a few years ago that I wanted to share with you guys. I am a typography nerd because I love languages, writing systems, letters. That stuff is really cool to me. I'm a hopeless language nerd. And fonts are how we encapsulate these writing systems, because these writing systems don't, per se, have actual standards. They have sort of general glyphs, shapes in our heads, and we use fonts to suggest them to other people. And so that's why they're very important. They can be very subliminal. The shape of the font, the context of the font, can change how you interpret the image. It's a form of communication.
What's this, Keith? Huh?
Our sample invite with the lettering you picked out.
No, this is not what I picked out. I picked out flourished italic. Now you go back to the printer and you tell them it should look like this.
And so I've actually... And you know what's actually kind of expensive, by the way? Chinese fonts. Any font that includes Chinese characters is going to be absurdly expensive. So, you have my condolences. Anyway, back to the subject. So, this was something I discovered a few years ago, and I think you're going to agree with me that when you take a look at it, it really is the most cursed font. Now, don't get me wrong. There is cursed text. There are lots of cursed looking fonts. But this one in particular really takes the cake, and a lot of it is context. It might have been illegal to even create. It was designed in the 1970s by a type artist named Phil Martin, who worked for one Alphabet Innovations. He was not authorized to make a variation of the classic, easily recognizable, probably the standard for the Latin writing system, Helvetica font. But he tried to do it anyway. He created a font named Helvetica Flare that is so hated, so infamous, that we only have a handful of pictures of it. There is no modern computer typeface. I mean, if someone's interested in making one, then by all means I'll download it. But, I mean, look at this thing. It's so gaudy. It's so extra. It's kind of amazing. Like, I legitimately think that this is kind of beautiful in its own sort of way. I mean, look at this F. How many rows are you going through? It's like 2 or 3 rows of just F. And that A, oh my gosh. That probably makes sense in some context. I don't know what the context is, and I don't think I want to know. But it's so disjointed. I mean, it's like taking a hearse, cutting it in half, and making the other end a dune buggy. Like, I don't know what you're trying to say with this font. It's so extra, but clean. It's like, I know what this is. I know what this is. It's the mullet of fonts. This font is the font equivalent of a mullet. But it's kind of... Look, if you guys can find a purpose for this font, something that it would be appropriate for, then by all means, please share it with me, because here's the deal. This font is possibly one of the worst ideas to have ever graced the typography market. Font designer Mark Simonson, one time when asked about the font, described it as, and I quote, almost sacrilegious. It's just... But it makes you feel something, doesn't it? And that's the thing. Language is about communication. The point of words is to convey an idea from one person to another person. So The only crime you can really commit with a font is to be a bad communicator. If you're going with a loud and crazy font, and you want to say something that is self-aware of its loudness and its craziness, then by all means use that font. If you're trying to be kind of soulless and clean and universal, use a font like Helvetica Standard. If you want to be cursed, then I implore you, if any of you have font software, I am pleading with you, I am begging with you, please bring Helvetica Flair back. I think that going into the 2020s, we've had enough hard times, we've had enough problems, but I think that bringing this back into the industry could be one of the highlights. It's sticking it up to the man. It's taking something, this unauthorized font that probably needs to change its name because Helvetica is totally going to be a trademark issue, but it's this font that has no right to exist. And yet it does. It's going to make its presence known. It's going to tell everyone, hey, pay attention to me, even though half of me is a font that is designed to be invisible. The other half is like, I am all party, and I don't even know what I'm saying, but I want it. I'm proud of this font. I am legitimately proud of this font. Like, look at the V's. Why? I don't even know why there's a capital V that's double width. Like, what on earth are you going to end a word with that V? That doesn't make any sense. But you know what? I don't care. I think it's broken me, honestly. I think this font has just expanded my view of the world. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I'd like to think that this font is the next step of human evolution.
Brief editor's note, after I was done editing this video, I discovered a thing called Tiffany's Attic. It was apparently opened in 1971 in 5028 Main in Kansas City, Missouri. The graphic designer of this advertisement was John Quasler Associates Incorporated. The actual guy who designed it was named Ron Boyd. It was made in 1972. It is the only known case I am aware of this font being used anywhere. And all I've got to say is this place is probably closed down, but I'm giving him 1,000,001 kudos. Thank you. And if you got any creepy animatronics that come to life and kill children, then that's not good.
But I don't know, I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. You guys do whatever you want, and now I don't have to be the sole knowledge bearer of Helvetica Flair. Now you guys know it too, and it's never escaping your minds. So, with that said, have a good whatever you have until I see you guys next. And make sure to like and subscribe and I don't know, hit the bell or I don't know, whatever you guys want to do. I don't actually care. Just whatever. Bye guys, have a good day.